you more. And even if you lose yourself and don't know what to do, the memory of love will see you through. Perhaps love is like the ocean, full of conflict, full of pain, like a fire when it's cold outside and thunder when it rains. If I could live forever and all my dreams came true, my memories of love will be of you.
It definitely helps to unmute the minister. So welcome to our Mother's Day service. We are delighted to have Alex Richardson, our practitioner, who will give the Mother's Day talk later. But first, I am acting as Alex's both practitioner today. I have 20 years experience as a practitioner, so I think I know how to do this. And I'm also her tech support. And you cannot rate the technician, you only get to compliment the speaker today. So with that, let me just take us into prayer. I invite you, if it's safe, to just close your eyes. And if it's comfortable, go within and touch that very center that reminds you of who you are, that you are one with the divine source of all that there is. There is only one of us here. We are all one. And I call this gift of life, that breath is breathed to us by the divine, a great gift. As we enter into the mystery of life, we live each day and stepping off unafraid, because we are not alone. We are always, always supported by the one divine love that I call God. So I know that this service today is absolutely blessed, that Alex, as our guest speaker, speaks on, are you listening? As only a mother can speak to us. We open up our hearts, we open up our ears, and we listen and then we learn. And we call it good. And I know that the technical support today is marvelous, and all is done and all is well, and so it is. And now I would like to lead us in a short 3-minute meditation. So again, if you will get comfortable and get ready for a little meditation. Except I lost my meditation. This tech support person. Well, I'm going to lead it the old-fashioned way because I think I waited too long. I had keyed up a YouTube meditation chart about 30 minutes ago, and YouTube must have expired it. So let me just invite you right now to go within into that quiet space, and in the silence, know that there is only one of us here. And at the end of 3 minutes, I will ring the chimes and then introduce, we will play one more song and then introduce our speaker. So I got that fixed. I hope that you enjoyed that meditation and you are doing well with that and put you in the absolute good mood. And now I want to share one more music before we introduce our speaker. Okay, so this is tech support 102 is not working. So I had set them up on separate screens thinking it would work, but I have a feeling that you cannot do this an hour ahead of time because they disappear on me. So anyway, so knowing all is well because Alex, as the mother, is in the house. And mothers always have it all done and it's all perfect. So I'm just knowing that this time right now is going to be absolutely fabulous. Alex, you all know her because she's been around for 20 years in various positions and is currently our board president and leader of the Reopen team and also leader of the volunteers that are getting the church ready for all of us to open up. And so her talk today is about what we don't see. And she says, like a mother on Mother's Day, she says, where is your belief and what are you not seeing? So please join me in welcoming Alex Richardson, practitioner, in her Mother's Day talk. What are you listening and can you feel it?
Wow. Good morning, everybody. The monthly theme, which you just said, is Holy, Holy. And it's hard to imagine if you don't see it in print. And then the talk is Revolutionary Love, which I think is kind of like a mother's love. And my talk today is, are you listening? Can you feel it? So good morning and happy Mother's Day. I think this day belongs to everyone, as we all needed a mother to get here. But spoil your mothers, or if you're alone, spoil yourself. As president of the board, I want to thank 20 of our members who have kindly kept us alive by their continuous financial giving throughout this pandemic. Others can still sign up if they want to. I'd also like to thank the 19 women who sent me their fabulous bios. 19 women. There is so much love for each other in this center. There will be a binder at church that you can review later if you missed hearing about them on Sunday mornings. And yes, we can always add more women to our binder. As president and chair of our reentry committee, we are getting closer each month to returning to our beautiful Yellow Center. I know there has been some anxious people that are already ready to return. However, I wish it were that simple. We legally have to follow the CDC guidelines, the Solano County guidelines, and believe it or not, our insurance carriers' guidelines. We have asked for volunteers. Who are you? We need people and door monitors for starters. Could that be you? If we all keep up with wearing our mask and continue to do social distancing and get vaccinated, we may make it back sooner than we thought. There's a whole group of folks that want to return like it used to be. Coffee, food, hugging. So there's so many different attitudes to consider. Did you know that if we return today, there would be no singing? So while we are waiting, try Zooming. I know it's not the same. In fact, can be darn right annoying. But the connection to others for me has made it worthwhile and a blessing. However, as challenging as it is, it would add another notch to perfecting your IT world, which I suspect is not going away very soon. We have new nuggets every day, Monday through Friday. It's hard to describe how much closer we've all become just by figuring out how to get on Zoom and learning something new and just staying connected. So now let's talk about my talk today. Are you listening? Can you feel it? Or as a stressed mom would say, are you listening to me? As Ernest Holmes would say, never limit your view of life by any past experience. I saw that on Facebook from the Rev. So I added it, just kind of worked. I can honestly say that at my age, nothing is like it used to be. Absolutely nothing. I visit this 96-year-old one time a week, and she is struggling with all the latest happenings. The virus, the deaths, Black Lives Matter, Asian attacks, transgenders, and she's really struggling with how much skin women are showing in their dresses these days. It's good to have life discussions with older people or even other people, and then ask yourself, am I listening? How do I feel? Is there something I'm not getting? Is there something more I need to learn? It happened the other day to me. DJ Khaled was being interviewed. For those of you who don't know who he is, he's a rapper. As my son said, he's not a rapper, Mom. He does rap, but he's not a rapper. So I'm not a fan of rappers. Please give me Frank Sinatra. He has just made an album with Jay-Z, another rapper, and a few other singers like Justin Bieber. It's called Khaled, Khaled. It just came out now, so if you're a fan, you might want to get a copy. His name is Khaled Mohammed Khaled. He's a record executive, recording producer, media personality, talk show host, a movie actor, and even a life coach. Who knew? You might remember the ad on TV about a kid brushing his teeth, waiting for the life coach, DJ Khaled. And Khaled, who told him to make circles on his teeth while brushing. I wondered who Khaled was back then. He was born of immigrating Palestinian parents who were in their 20s, arriving in Louisiana, escaping from Palestine. Khaled always knew he wanted to be, sorry about that, always, that's funny how things happen though. Always knew he wanted to be in the music business since he was 5 years old. DJ Khaled, now 45 years old, he has won many awards. He plays, as my son says, he does play the piano, Mom. I said he didn't play a musical instrument. I love these corrections as a mom. He is a master on the turntable. He went from broke and in jail, driving without a license, to making $24 million working with rapper Jay-Z. He says he's like a hip hop Quincy Jones. Being authentic always wins, says Khaled. So why am I talking about DJ Khaled? Who knew he was so science of mind? He's married, has 2 young children. He respects his God, our God, as we're all one, loves his family, respects others, puts his best foot forward, was very poor and realized that it was going to take time to become someone great. He always knew he'd be great. So he just kept pushing forward, using his peaceful self, going 2 steps forward and 1 step back to reach his goal. He shares his joy with everyone because he is joy. Being authentic, he says, always wins. He and his other successful people joining him in his videos, so he even shares the profits. Now tell me that's not science of mind. What is, if that isn't science of mind? Something that isn't my favorite, rap music, and yet with a little investigation, with a little listening, and with a feel for the other guy, I saw and felt something new. Ken Blanchard from the other guy, Ken Blanchard, who wrote 1 Minute Manager, says results always follows intentions. We must open our minds to higher possibilities. And how many times have you heard the true treasure lies within? And I had ill thoughts about him when it all began. That's actually been my COVID time, learning something new and doing something new, like helping to clean out the cupboards at church. To be authentic, DJ Khalid says, always wins. My dementia sister is in a home, helping others. She assists by pushing others in their wheelchairs. Walter, who had dementia, made this vase. You can see that. During a convalescent home activity. The roses are from my son who came to see his mama yesterday and fix a few things. Children. It doesn't make a difference, who you are or where you are. It still means to be authentic. When I look at this vase, even after 30 years, I can still see Walter smiling at me and saying good morning. For the two of them, my sister and Walter, that's who they are, their authentic selves. So, are you listening? Are you feeling that? What's authentic around you? It may not be exactly as you think, but it's a worthy investigation. Who knows? It may just be what you needed on that day. Or maybe just what you gave that day that made the other person's day. I remember being in a hospital elevator, and this woman walked in on the elevator on the 3rd floor. She must have lost her best friend or heard the worst news ever in her entire life. Surprising myself, I said, "Would you like a hug?" That was the longest, hardest hug I ever gave or have ever received since. We kept hugging until she got off the elevator on the ground floor. She never looked back. No words were spoken or needed. So I leave you today with 4 quotes from Ernest Holmes, our founder. Number 1, look for the good and praise it. 2, it can only work for you what it can do through you. And some classes might be needed to understand that one. 3, we should give ourselves in love and in service to others in a spirit of generosity and good fellowship. To refuse to give is to refuse to receive, for everything moves in circles. Real giving is the givingness of the self. A kind word, a thoughtful act, perhaps just a smile can lighten the burdens of others. And finally, my last quote by him, quote, not cloak, that's another story. It seems that man exists for the purpose of self-expression. There appears to be no other reason or excuse for man's being. So, are you listening? Are you feeling? Happy Mother's Day. For your information, I have one son, 2 daughters, 5 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. I am so blessed. Namaste. My affirmation is, am I listening? Can I feel it? Look for the good and praise it. So let's try that and join me. My affirmation is, am I listening? Can I feel it? Look for the good and praise it. So let us pray. I start off with my favorite. There is one life. That life is God. That life is perfect. And that life is my life now. Today is Mother's Day. I send out blessings to all of the mothers. I know you are listening and feeling your next opportunity, as everyone is who is listening today. I bless everyone who has or is involved with any COVID issues. Those who work with, those who have lost. I bless those who are vaccinated and those moving toward that solution. My prayers go out to the COVID issue in India. I am thankful for this day. I am thankful for my family and friends. I send our prayers beyond our hearts to the universe, knowing all is healed. And so it is. Thank you.
And so it is. Thank you, Alex. What a beautiful, beautiful talk and well inspired. We're getting claps. Yay. So thank you. Wow. So I just have a few announcements to make. Somebody has suggested I make the announcements at the beginning of the service so everybody doesn't turn off and leave when it's time for the announcements, but we haven't made that shift yet. So the first thing is I just want to talk, Alex touched on it. She is in charge of the Reopen team, and we met at the end of April, and we weren't ready yet to open up, as she said. We're meeting again the end of May, and we're constantly reviewing everything. And we're also checking in with the community members because some people aren't really comfortable yet coming back. So we have to assess all of that because it takes a certain amount of volunteers just to open up the church. We can't really do it with just the board members we have. We need greeters, we need ushers, we need to follow certain guidelines, we need to have a plan, we need to have roles, we need to have people follow those roles. We need to have people show up every Sunday and be a worker, not just a sitter in the church. And so consider all of those things, and if something calls to you, email Alex or give her a ring on the phone if you have her phone number. And the other thing is show up on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday next week, the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th from 2 to 4. Let Alex know you're going to be there because she's there every day on those days that I mentioned. And we're getting the church ready. And so if you really are vested and interested in opening it up, show up and lend a hand in making it happen. And then what else do I want to say? Contributions. So I'm going to screen share one of my favorite beautiful yellow buildings. And what we would like to do is to make sure that we are keeping this building healthy as well as our finances healthy. And you can do that by going to firstchurchvallejo.org webpage and through online giving, PayPal, or send a check to First Church of Religious Science, 229 Springs Road, Vallejo, California, 94590. And if you live in the neighborhood, you can just swing by and drop it in the bookstore mail slot. Somebody will be picking it up. And I believe that is the end of my announcements, and I'm going to suggest you all unmute yourselves, and we'll open up the community room, and I will end the Facebook, and I will end the recording.